And good morning. It's Saturday morning and another beautiful day here in North Dakota. So it is a little bit chilly out this morning. It was 8 degrees with a wind chill of about 8 or 9 below zero. So it's a very light wind, but it does get cold out. I've been fasting for the last 5 days. I had some dental work done. This is the second time I've had dental work done in the past 30 days. I had some dental work done was 3 weeks ago. I had a tooth removed. I had the appointment to begin with, and it was actually to work on a tooth on this side because it broke off years ago. Never had any issues or pain with it, except for I had a spot that was really sharp and what the dentist called a pin on it. And man, it when I talked or did anything with it, it just cut my tongue up. Right before that appointment, this tooth broke, got infected. And I had to have that pulled out. I ended up fasting right before that happened because of the way it broke. And anytime I tried eating, it would break off on there. Hey, good morning, Jeff. How are you doing this morning? And through the fasting, it seemed like my that tooth healed. That whole area was better. I mean, really quick, even with the infection that it had in there. So I decided when I went in to have my next dental appointment, because I actually had a tooth removed here. I got a bridge in there now, so this is actually all new. And I just wanted to make sure that I had the same experience because I don't like dentists. They scare the hell out of me, and I don't like pain. Hey, good morning, Bride's Biscuit. Nice to see you this morning. And so I fasted starting Sunday through my appointment Wednesday, had the tooth pulled, and when they pulled it out, there was still an infection in there. They were able to get rid of that infection. They cleaned it out, and I wasn't put on an antibiotic again, so I got to extend my fast. And I actually did a full 5 days. I did 120 hours. Aisha, good morning. It's nice to see you here this morning. How are you today? But I know through a lot of different stuff I've read through that there's a lot more different things that happen to your body when you're fasting. There's a lot of different healing abilities, and one of the things that happens when you're extended fasting is you make what the heck's it called? I love it when my brain just blanks out on words. But getting into different metabolic states, your body heals. Stem cells. Your body makes stem cells when you get to certain levels. Miramar Escobar, good morning. How are you today? So I know through fasting and everything, I know that you can heal your body faster. And like Dr. Boz, she recommends when patients go into have any type of surgery to be in a therapeutic ketogenic state because the healing just goes so much better. Well, generally, when I had dental work done, it's one of the reasons why I stopped going to dentists is because my body does not do well with mouth pain. Every time I've had dental work, I've hurt for weeks. I've had other teeth pulled, and it's just been miserable for me. This time I had no pain. I followed their directions. I took the ibuprofen and Tylenol as they said to do. This time, just one dose, and I didn't have any pain. Didn't have really any swelling. So I was very happy. Bridesmaid says my tinnitus has been worse recently. I'm doing a. I'm going to dip my toes further into fasting this year to see if there is any benefit there. And I think there is. I know when I fast, my tinnitus gets tremendously better. Like right now, I don't have any tinnitus in my ear, and most of this week I haven't had any. So I know every time I fast, my tinnitus gets better, and the ringing when it does come back isn't nearly as prominent in my ears. Um, so I actually like it. Hey, Uncle Willie, good morning. It's nice to see you here. Uh, yeah, Aisha says, "Oh no, I hope you can find relief. Tinnitus makes life miserable." Yeah, talking bridesmaids, but it does. Tinnitus is terrible, and Larry talks about this on his channel, Aisha, where his tinnitus went away in his 21-day fast. Part of the tinnitus that I have, I do believe, has to do with coffee. My tinnitus actually went away for several months until I started drinking coffee again. And I'm still drinking coffee, so still no notifications for Rumble and YouTube. Huh. Well, I know on the Rumble stream, Uncle Willie, I can send out a push notification for the lives, I believe. And I did not check that box last night when I set it up. I know I forgot to do that yesterday. And that was one of the things with Rumble. I can only set up one live stream at a time, and you can only set up one push notification every 24 hours too. So there are some limitations on the Rumble, but YouTube is supposed to do that by itself. And Bryce says my daughter had her first filling at age 19, nowhere near nerve, but still healed fully after still hasn't healed fully after several months. Yeah, and that's where I believe, and I may be wrong, and I might just be getting rid of all the plant poisons to begin with, but maybe that's why my healing has been so much better on the last two visits for my dentist. I haven't had any pain here, and the first like 24 hours after it, my lip was still really swollen, which I expected. And it still looks a little bit swollen now, but I think it's because of the size of the temporary bridge that I have on there. I think it's just a little bit bigger, so it makes me feel like I'm swollen. Brisbane says, yes, you've seen others heal. You know, it's always down to have one, though. And it is. We're experimenting on ourselves because we've been lied to about so much throughout our lives. And our diet and nutrition is one of them. Everything that they've been telling us for years about what's healthy for us has been a lie. Rob Pearson, good morning. How are you today? It's nice to see you here. Fun with Harry and Link. Hey, how's it going? Rise Biscuit, I've had 44 years now, severe. It's louder than ambient room O's and conversations. Yeah, I feel the same way. Sometimes it just drives me nuts. I can be watching TV and not really hear it, and my wife talk, and I don't hear her, and she gets mad at me. But it is what it is. Hey, good morning, Aaron. How are you doing today? That's all. Yesterday you were talking about doing uh, comparisons for the different sardine brands. That'd be interesting. I'd like to see that. If anybody wants to, Aaron's got a great carnivore channel. He talks about actually carnivore keto channel. He talks about the basics of what he's done and the struggles he's gone through and what works for him and everything. He was talking about doing sardine comparisons to the different brands and what's good and what's not. I'd be interested to watch that. And fun with Harry and Link. How are we doing? We're doing great. It's been a beautiful day already. So I woke up again and I'm here, so I'm happy about that. I broke a 120-hour fast yesterday. I felt really good all the way up until yesterday when yesterday afternoon I started to get cold in my hands and I just could not get warm. So I ended up breaking my fast I wanted to go until this morning, about 135 hours, but I listened to my body and I broke it last night. Aisha says, "Good morning, Aaron. Starboy of the night. Good morning. How are you doing today?" And Bryce Biscuit says, "Tonight's played a role in your mental health and sleep over decades. It's still a big factor." Yeah, because it can really keep you awake, and you don't get a good sleep when you have that constant ringing in your. And Jeff just finished a 40-hour fast. I think I'll do another 40-hour fast every week. Yeah, doing fasts on a weekly basis, Jeff, is actually really not a bad thing to do. I'm enjoying it. So far this month, I've done a fast Monday through Friday, the first weekend this last week. So I'm thinking I'm going to do it again coming up here this week. I'm going to do another 120-hour, well, 96 to 120 hours. So I'm going to do 4 to 5 days. And this week, the forecast, which has played a factor in each of my fasts, if it's cold out below freezing, I don't seem to do as well towards the end of the fast. That 96-hour to 120-hour mark is where I start to get cold. And if it's below freezing out, I can't get warm again. So I'm going to play it by ear. The forecast for this week is all above freezing temperatures, even overnight. We're supposed to be into the 40s, 50s, and possibly 60s this week. So I think I'm going to do another extended fast this week and see how that goes. Fasts do a lot of good for the body. Aaron saying good morning. Rotating work weekend. So are you at work this morning or are you off this morning, Aaron? Ashley Cooper, good morning. How are you doing today? It's nice to see you here. If you're going to go over the different brands and different prices of sardines, that's actually pretty cool. I like the way you do your videos and you do stuff like that because I I have issues trying to do stuff like what you're doing, and I can sit here in my office and talk to people and read the comments, but going over the food and how you're cooking it and the way you're doing that stuff, I have a hard time doing. For me, it's different, I guess. Yes, Ashley. So, Ashley, are you eating a carnivore diet or are you just surfing live feeds on YouTube this morning? Interesting to know what brought you here. Bryce Biscuit says that his left ear is way worse, and I always grab my daughters and move them over to the right side so I can hear what they are saying. Did a high res MRI and rule out acoustic aroma. Well, it's good, Bryce. It's I have to do the same thing sometimes. Sometimes mine actually depends upon the day. Sometimes my right is worse than my left. Right now, if I have any ringing, it's generally on my right side. You just watched Terry Mann's uh, video on Texas Roadhouse. Every steak cooked in seed oil, covered with sugar-based seasoning. Yep. And that's we went to Texas Roadhouse. It's probably been a year now. So it was after we were on Carnivore. My wife and I, my son and his girlfriend went to a hockey game out of town, and that town had a Texas Roadhouse. And thought, what the heck, Texas Roadhouse? We don't have one of those, so we decided to go up there and have a bite. I had just the steak and some shrimp, and I did feel worse after eating. I put it to the shrimp being cooked in something different or the seasoning on it, but I saw Carrie had that video out, and I saw the thumbnail for it, and I just about clicked on it this morning, but I was in Brick's, went to Brick's Live this morning instead, and out there, and did my prep for what I do here right now while I was waiting on that. So I'll have to watch that when I get done with this. But for those here, check out Homestead House video on Texas Roadhouse. See what Uncle Willie is talking about. You're getting a bunch of sardines delivered from World's Market today. Good, Aaron. Rise Basis says, in a sleep study, you have 40 plus interruptions, which classifies as severe sleep apnea. See, and I've never done the sleep study. That is not fun. Hey, what's up? Is it Jiggy? How are you doing today? Do I go to the gym? No, I do not. I used to work out. What would it be now? I started working out in 2012 to 2016. I worked out 6 days a week, and I ended up having heart surgery. I ended up getting pulled off of everything that I thought was healthy and doing, which actually turns out to be not as healthy as I thought it would be. And now I just do the carnivore diet. I've lost 142 pounds now since my heaviest, and 130 pounds just eating a strict carnivore diet. So, yeah, I've lost 2 pounds on my path. So I'm at a new low weight, 5 pounds away from being considered a normal weight, which is pretty amazing for me. Yeah, we're not going there. Bryce Pierce says, I'm focused on getting adequate nutrition to heal first. You get aversion frequently. That's why you're holding off on extended fasting. See, I find that fasting eliminates my aversions because I can eat just about any food that I don't care for when I'm breaking a fast and right after I come off fasting. But hey, one of the things that happened on this fast, when I broke my fast last night, I had my 3 eggs, I had my bacon. I ate that. I waited for an hour, and I didn't feel as hungry as I normally do. I was hungry, so I just warmed up one quarter-pound burger patty that I had made for my wife the night before. I ate that, and I was full. I haven't eaten since, so my hunger signals, the ghrelin, and my signal telling me I'm satisfied, the leptin, are actually working for me, and it's different. I am amazed at how well that is going for me. It's different. Are you working, Iron? See, I do this at times too, where I'll be at work, I'll listen in on live streams like this while I'm working. It'll be playing in the background in my headset, and I just do my normal day-to-day work and everything. It's pretty good. Jeff says I don't think I'll go over 48 hours. There are different resets for your body depending upon how far you go, Jeff. Um, some of them happen at 24, some happen at 48, at 72, at 96. Every 24 hours, it seems like there's a new type of a reset that your body goes through. One of the things that I noticed with mine here on this last fast, when they pulled this tooth out, this was actually an implant to begin with. I broke it when I was 9 years old, and they put an implant in when I turned 18, and it worked for me. I did have issues with it in the 80s and 90s with infection, and they did some other work, and it was kind of a pain in the ass. But when I went in for this infection and this tooth that broke, they pulled this one out, but they found that this implant was infected too, but it was a draining abscess. So as it was abscessing, it was just draining and it wasn't going away. It didn't cause any pain, didn't have any issues with it. Now I wear a continuous glucose meter or monitor, whatever you want, CGM. I'm not diabetic. I just like to track. It gives me information on how my body is doing. I noticed that my blood sugars weren't coming down like they should have been. And I knew that this tooth being infected was probably happening. And that's why it wasn't coming down. Once this tooth got pulled out this week, within a couple of hours, my blood sugars dropped. And since I've actually stayed low, which tells me that that infection was keeping my glucose high. Now, generally, the last 3 fasts I had, my blood sugars haven't gone below 70. They've stayed up elevated in that area. Yesterday at 118 hours, my blood glucose went down to 55, and my ketones were at 4.8. My GKI is 0.6, which is amazing, and my Dr. Boz ratio at this point was 11. And if you know anything about the Dr. Boz ratio, that's actually a really high therapeutic state to be in. So, but each level of your fast brings a different reset to your body. You keep hitting that 48-hour mark, and I believe for a lot of people, especially those who are eating a carnivore diet, I think the resets happen sooner. But 48, you should be getting a nice reset for your immunity, which helps out tremendous. Aisha is asking, dry fast or water? Yeah, water fast. 40-hour dry fast might not be a bad idea. I might try that on this my next fast. Start out as a dry fast for 24 to 48 hours and see how I go. Bryce Biscuit says you want to move from 48 to 72 hours for the near future. You won't go past that. Go for a while. Yeah, you do have to get used to doing a fast. You have to condition your body to, at least I think you do. You have to condition your body to get to there. Yeah, same. It varies. It's real loud right now, and you have headphones cranked. Yeah, and it really sucks when that happens because I know there are times where I've had really loud ringing in my ear, and then it just goes away, and you're like, "What the heck?" Aaron says Texas Roadhouse butter and rolls so hard to say no, right? They've got that. They have that cinnamon butter. Is that what it is? Cinnamon sugar butter, basically, is what it is. And I ate there before I went to the carnivore diet, and it is. It's a really tasty thing. Yeah, Texas Roadhouse doesn't keep any real butter on premises. It's sad that they do that because it's just cheapening the experience there and making people sick. Bryce Vista says, thankfully, animal protein I eat does not give negative feedback, and I do enjoy just about everything, even dairy. It's nice to be able to include different things. And what Bryce Biscuit's talking about is chicken and fish, pork, monogastric stomach animals. When they eat like soy and stuff like that, that can be transmitted to right into their meat and their fat. So that if they're eating something that's you have a bad reaction to, you can have a bad reaction to their meat. Even if you're not eating a plant, you can still have that plant reaction because of the way the meat is. Now, ruminant animals that have the 4 chambers for the stomach, they purify that more through their digestive process. So, eating a red meat from beef, bison, lamb, goat, and stuff like that removes more of that toxin, and you don't have that reaction. Bry's Biscuit's lucky that he doesn't have those reactions when he's eating other animals other than just the red meat. So that's actually really good. He did a home study wearing a monitor. You could not do anything in a hospital unless you absolutely had to, right? And that's why I know here in my hometown when they do sleep studies now, they send you home with everything. Bry's Biscuit, the version is usually specific. You get tired of beef often. If you rotate, you're good, but you're probably low protein, but that only rec- I gotta read this here again. If you rotate, but I'm probably low on protein, but that only recommendations. I do fine around 100 grams a day. I do better on a higher fat than protein level. I try to track my fat and make sure my fat is above 70% of my calories that I eat in any day. The calories I eat in a day, I don't care about. It's the percentage of fat that I'm getting. So the more fat I get, the better I feel. As well, it's as long as it's above 70% of my calories. Jeff says you heard that a fast longer than 48 hours can cause muscle loss if you don't have enough fat on your body. That's if you're extremely lean. And that's why, okay, they have the PMSF, protein sparing modified fast, PSMF. And there have been some studies that show that that's not what happens. You have so much body fat and your body will use all the fat. You'd have to have zero fat or very little fat before your body starts using the protein in your muscles to get energy. So I, I take that with a grain of salt. It's right up there with the eat your vegetable stuff that we've always been told. I don't see that happening. I mean, I did a measurements on my neck and my stomach yesterday. My neck's 16 and a quarter. My stomach is actually at 35 even right now, which is amazing. For my height and my weight in those measurements, I'm down into a 14% body fat. When I started the carnivore diet, I was at 44% body fat. So I've lost a lot of fat and I'm still losing fat. I'm not losing the muscle. My muscle is staying there. Well, I can't say that. I have lost muscle. My body doesn't need the muscle that I had when I was 347 pounds. It needs the muscle I have now. So I don't lift weights. I don't do really any exercise. I have a weight set and I've thought about doing it, but I just haven't. I've never really got into lifting weights. It's just never been something that's interested me. And I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about starting. I'm thinking about doing stuff with it. I have everything I need. I just have to find the time and the gumption to do it, I guess. But as far as fasting over 48 hours and losing muscle, no. The longest recorded fast was over a year that a guy fasted. And his starting weight, I believe it was like over 400 pounds. And over a year, he did a water fast and under medical supervision. And it's documented to show how he did. So he didn't lose any muscle that he didn't need, is basically what it comes down to. Brad Biscuit, I'm guessing the different levels have a connection to how deep in autophagy. Yeah. Ketogenic state probably has a role in it too. Yeah. And I think with my last couple of fasts, it didn't go down as far as it normally would. My ketones didn't go up as high as they normally do. And this one here, my blood glucose dropped 55. That's at the normal time I check. I check it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I check my ketones at between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. And this really seemed to do a lot better when I got rid of that infection in my mouth. Aaron says, I told Larry after I finish this carton of heavy whipping cream, I'm going to try a go 30 days without your coffee, without cream in your coffee. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I think Larry's going to try that with you, Aaron. That'd be really good. See if it does cause any issues with you, and it's one way to find out. And it's always good to have that support. Danny, how are you doing today? What causes bone spurs forms on your kneecaps? Well, okay, Danny, I'm not a doctor, so I don't really know what causes bone spurs to form on your kneecaps and stuff like that. And I don't give medical advice, but what I can share with you is a lot of people have great healing when they eliminate plants from their diet. One of the things that people don't understand about plants is every plant that you eat has a defense mechanism in it. So oxalates are a great source of inflammation and pain in the body. There are lectins and all kinds of different lectins, tannins, oxalates. There are different poisons that affect your body. So if you're having issues, eliminate plants for 30 days. Eliminate, I mean, a strict carnivore diet, basically like beef, butter, bacon, eggs for 30 days. Cut out dairy, cut out all plants and sugars, all seed oils. Cut them out for 30 days and see how you feel. After 30 days, you can introduce stuff back into your diet one thing at a time every couple of days. And your body will tell you what your body doesn't like and what's bad for you. Uh, at one point, I know if I use too much pepper on anything, my joints hurt. I have issues with pepper. I can lightly season with pepper stuff and I'm okay, but anything that I put too much pepper on, I have issues with it. But an elimination diet, like the carnivore diet, really helps you to figure out what triggers your pain. Bryce Biscuit says eliminating all plants except coffee and sauerkraut was enough. You know, other can't even tolerate monogastric proteins or even grain fed. Yeah, absolutely. Because like a monogastric stomach, a lot of stuff that they eat goes directly to you. And you know, coffee, sauerkraut, coffee for me, depending upon the brand, doesn't bother me. The stuff I'm drinking right now, I haven't had as many issues. You looked at all your proteins at one point and they're all comparable 80-20 ground beef, bacon, salmon, chicken thighs with skin. You think you're in a good fat. Absolutely. That's what you got to do. If you're going to eat, bacon is about the perfect cut for that. Same with the 80-20 ground beef. Chicken thighs, the dark meat with the skin on it. Also, it's actually really good. Breakfast says, be careful. I got tendonitis in January, attempting to revisit weightlifting for after 40 years. Doc even said elbow bone was displaced. Yeah, that's not good. That's one of the reasons why I haven't actually started doing any stuff like this here because I have issues with. I had surgery on this shoulder, on my right shoulder. I had surgery on this shoulder back in the early 2000s, and it's never 100% again. It's probably 75%. So even doing like a push-up hurts. Tammy, good morning. How are you today? It's nice to see you here. Thanks, Bryce Biscuits. Solid non-medical advice. Yeah, I don't give medical advice. I'm not a doctor. It's a great way of elimination to figure out what works and doesn't. Add back one at a time over many weeks to identify triggers. And that's the best way to do it. If you slowly add stuff back in, you can find out what triggers you. And example of that is a seasoning that my wife and I got. My wife, I've had taco meat with specific seasoning, no sugar, no sweeteners in it at all. We've made our own. My wife and I were at Costco and we found one Costco brand that would look clean, looked really good. The first time that we made tacos out of it or taco meat out of it, the next morning I felt like I got run over by. And the only thing that was different on it was that seasoning. So I don't take that seasoning anymore. It, it took a day for me to get out of it, and it's kind of rough sometimes. But you find out what works for you, and if you find out what works, stick with it. Jeff says, I don't like using weights either. I just walk and do planks. Planks are a tough thing to do. I tell you, I've done planks before. Holding that position can be rough. Brightbit says, go slow. Don't do isolated muscle bicep curls for you. Do group exercise and start slow. Yep. Aisha, would rucking be alternative to weightlifting? Yes, to a point. You have to look at your body, Aisha. Uh, I actually found on Amazon a weighted ruck vest, a 40-pound vest that I was looking at before Christmas and it was really expensive. After Christmas, the price was like half the price. So I actually bought it. I've worn that vest around the house with 40 pounds a few times, and I ended up taking out half of the weight because 40 pounds is way too much. I have 20 pounds in it now. I haven't started walking outside with it because it's colder and I want to be outside walking in. But yeah, you listen to your body, start slow and light, and a weighted ruck vest would not be a bad idea. I eventually want to get up to the 40-pound weight. I'm hoping I can do that by the end of the summer. Hey, Jester, good morning. Jester says, depends on trying to work out, but if you just want to strengthen your legs and back, then rucking is just perfect. Absolutely. Dante Brigno did a lot of weighted ruck vest walking and exercise. He used to show that on his channel all the time. He hasn't posted in a long time. It's sad because Dante is a great inspiration. He says, I think going from sedentary like him, the start is simply movement like walks. Yep. And then low impact resistance training that are fully supported through each exercise. Yes. And for most people, that's exactly what they need. There are some outliers out there that can jump right in and start doing silly stuff and be just fine. But for most people, they do need to start slow. Aaron says rebounders. Yep. Rebounders are good too. There's a lot of different things that happen when you're doing that rebounder, jumping up and down on that. Seems like the latest kick, yeah. We've seen that around in Carnivore Quest, and I've seen that on a couple other channels too, people talking about that. Jester says, my main exercise is squats. So I ruck a lot just around the house. Right, Jester? And that's what I've done with my weight vest. I've just worn it around the house and just try to get used to wearing it. Because it is different. It is weight on you. You know, I've lost 142 pounds, but putting on a 40-pound weight vest is too much for me now because my body's not used to that weight. Uncle Willie says he finishes push-up workout with planks. It's brutal. I need to get Larry's recording of brutal so that we can just play that. Aaron says, I find concentrating on core workouts to start are good. From there, you spread out to the rest of the body. Yep. Aisha says, thank you to Cosmic Jester. Is it's doing the core workouts, you strengthen your core first, and then everything else becomes easier. And that's one of the things I learned when I was doing my workouts back in 2012 to 2016. A strong core really improves everything else that you're doing for workouts. I used to do the Beachbody workouts with Sean T, and that was Sean T is just an amazing trainer. I'll just say that because he really kicked my ass all the time. Yeah, how about no? All right. So we'll just put you in a timeout. And there you go. We'll just, yeah, really sucks that we get, and I just want to say it's probably just young kids in there doing stupid shit. People like that should just be gone. He's everywhere. So Zeppelin, yeah. Good morning. Let's go back to this one. Maybe you should wear a weight vest when you umpire. Hey, that'd be a good idea, especially when you're out there and you're exercising, you're standing in that squat and you're in a weighted vest. That would give you a nice core workout. They were in Rick's this morning. And they're coming out a spring thaw. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that guy in there this morning too. He was in here last weekend and made some nasty comments to Larry and Cassie, and I put him in timeout. I haven't seen him back here since. I didn't ban him from my account. I just put him in a timeout. Now, that last guy, Boone, I did ban him, so he's gone. He won't be back unless he comes in another account. But stupid stuff like that, I don't have the patience for. That's one thing being a carnivore, my mood has greatly improved. I've had so many things that greatly improved for me. My patience for stupidity has not improved at all. That's still out there. Uncle Willie says, no, that's not my first troll. I've had a couple of them. And I'm actually pretty quick to ban and stupid ones like that, and then just put people on timeout when they're being naughty. If they want to bother me, that's one thing. Like John Studd the other day was nasty to Larry and Cassie on my live stream, so he got put in timeout. He can come back. I didn't ban him. But like Boone here, I did ban him because that's no reason for that. He's just spamming and they're trying to take over the chat. That's just stupid. So he did get banned. I've had others that I've put in timeout and they just don't come back mostly. So I'm good with that. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Absolutely, Bryce Biscuit. So now I was talking about my fast. Here you can see that I use a Zero app for my fasting calculator, so it shows where my fasts are. I actually didn't start one last night to show where I'm at now. As I stopped eating about 7 last night, so it's 12, 13, 14, 15 hours into a fast now. And then yesterday afternoon, before I broke my fast, my glucose In me, that's along with a carnivore diet, this is where my body has done the best. I went from looking like this, and I was probably 350 in this picture here, a 3XL hockey jersey. And that jersey was tight on me. You can see it's tight on my belly right there. This was in March of 2024. And this is February 27th, 2026. 2 years later, this jersey is a large and it just hangs off me. So, that's done my body a lot of good. How do I do it? A lot of people think I eat like this all the time, and I don't. This is just my exceptional meals. I eat like this here once in a while. I have steak and shrimp because that's delicious. Most of my meals look like this: ground beef, eggs, bacon, because that's what works for me. That helped me from going like this. If you look at the pictures on the bottom or on the left side there, you see how big that belly is. That's actually over 60 inches around on that belly right there. The upper right picture there, you see me riding a scooter because we're at the state fair and I can't walk. I can't walk more than half an hour and my feet hurt, my knees hurt, my hip hurts. I'd get sciatic pain. I just couldn't move. And you just see how big my body is. It's just not comfortable. I went from that to this in a year. You see that big belly in the picture on the left, and then the picture on the right. I'm 124 pounds, or 224 pounds in that picture on the right. Since then, I've lost another 19 pounds. I'm 205 right now. It's amazing what this diet does. I went from that picture on the right to this here. You really can't tell the difference. I feel the difference. My pant size has gone down a little bit. Well, thanks, Aisha. I appreciate that. It works. And, eating the simple stuff like this right here, bacon and eggs and ground beef. The cheap ground beef, don't drain the fat, keep the fat, because that's what your body truly needs to heal. Keep that fat in there and you'll do much better. And Uncle Willie says he's having chicken wings today. Hey, that's not a bad idea. I did take out a steak today. I haven't eaten anything yet this morning. I don't know when I'm going to eat today. I don't know if I'm going to have just one meal a day or if I'm going to do two. It's amazing and inspirational. Thanks, Bryce. God bless. I appreciate that. It's such a nice way to eat. It's really good. Hey, Brian. Good morning. How are you doing today? Thank you. I appreciate that. Aisha says, hi, Brian. And Jeff, how close? I'm 205 as of yesterday morning. I didn't weigh myself this morning because I broke my fast, and I know when I break a fast, I'll gain it. I'll keep all the water weight that I had. I'll get it back quickly. So I didn't weigh myself this morning, but yesterday morning I was 205.8. So 5.8 pounds, 6 pounds away from being in Wonderland. I expect to be there probably by April, May. If I get there before, that'll be better, but I'm going to get there and my body will get there when it gets there. I just want to keep on being healthy. Brian says, going to Aisha. Bry's Visit says, I love chicken wings, but they are considered white meat. And they are 4 times the price of thighs, which are dark meat. Yeah. That's not a bad thing, though. I do like the chicken wings. To me, they're delicious. I actually followed Aaron and Larry's videos to start making chicken wings, and they've been really good for me. I think it was Aaron that had the buffalo sauce recipe. So it's turned out really good. I do like it. It works. Brian is doing great. You started at 474 pounds. Today, 280. That, sir, is amazing. It's a great day in your neighborhood, Brian. That is absolutely amazing. Yeah, Brian. Aaron says he makes all sorts. Absolutely. Rice biscuits at 0.6 pounds away from Wonderland, being under 200-pound club. Still going down about 1.5 pounds a month, which is fine by you. You'd like to get to your goal weight by 2027. Absolutely. And being patient with your weight loss, because it's really not what this diet is about. This diet is about healing and getting your body the way it should be. And, you know, when I first started carnivore and I was all gung ho, just strictly eating everything meat, I looked at it as the only way to do it is living out plants. But the more I've learned over this last 18 months, yes, the carnivore diet, being meat based, is the best healing way. Once you heal your body, can you go back to eating seasonal plants? I don't know. I think for some people they can, but it's an individual, it's an N of one experiment that you'll have to find out for yourself. Am I going to try it? I, I might. I might not. I haven't had the desire to eat anything that's plant based since I started this carnivore way of eating. I don't think I'm going to try, but I'm not going to rule it out either. You like fat fasting because of the minimal rebound weight gain. Also seems to be less stressful. And that is true. Even with the sardine fast, I seem to keep the weight down and not rebound as much. Because you do rebound on a water fast. But it just depends upon how you refeed and how much you gain back. Way to go. Riseby said last time you were under 200 was 1997. And I think I'm pretty close to that too. It was in the 1990s last time I was under 200 pounds prize biscuit. So it's been, I think it's probably been 30 years since I've been under 200 pounds. I know it's been probably 30 years since I've been this weight at 205. Yep. Tammy says, Brian, that's amazing. What an inspiration. Absolutely. Watching somebody that's been doing this way of eating for any amount of time and losing that much weight, it's tremendously inspiring. I watched Bill Knott and his videos. I watched another channel before that channel got lost. He had so many inspiring videos and the struggle that he went through. He's just amazing. Hey, Rick, good morning. How are you doing? Nice to see you here again. Thanks for the shout out on your channel. I appreciate it this morning. Yeah, Milton just returned. He was causing some problems this morning, wasn't he? Brian says 23 years ago he was over 700 pounds, and now you're down to 280 pounds. That is truly amazing. Aisha says it's incredible. So it's just one of those beautiful days. And it's so amazing when people find a way that works for them to lose the weight that they've been putting on. I know when I was gaining weight, there was nothing I was doing that was working for me to lose weight. When I started this journey, I did this here for my blood pressure healing. I was taking 5 blood pressure medications. Each of my blood pressure medications had a slight side effect of weight gain. And what did that do? I went from, well, when I started on my blood pressure medications, I was about 250 pounds because I had gained weight after my surgery. I wasn't working out, but I'd been at about 250 pounds for a year and a half. And then I got put on my blood pressure medication. As soon as I got put on that medication, my weight started going up again. And I went from 250 pounds to 347 pounds within 4 years. So yeah, it was terrible. And I ended up on 5 blood pressure medications. I started this way of eating because I saw a video. Somebody I was talking about the different healing that he had eating just meat, which got me to look into the carnivore way of eating and to see what it was all about. Found Dr. Berry, and I went through so many of Dr. Berry's videos, and I found a bunch of the good doctors: Dr. Chafee, Dr. Baker, Tony Hampton, Robert Siwas, Dr. Bird, Westman. All those guys that are doing this. Even Paul Saladino, which Saladino to me at times is a snake oil salesman, but he does have a lot of good information on carnivore diet. Just when he goes off of that, I tend not to listen to him all that much. But recently, he's been pretty good about hammering on people that are giving out false information about carnivore. But finding those people and doing an 18-month dive on that really helped save me, and that's when I decided to start doing this. Life is a wonderful journey and an absolute blessing. It is. I agree with you, Brian. Aisha says my weight gain started with birth control, yeah, coupled with standard American diet, and then my psych meds over the years. Yeah, and so many of these meds, they don't tell you all the side effects. And that's one of the things that doctors are supposed to do. They're supposed to go over all this with you and get implied consent before they prescribe stuff. And if you look at your medical record, when you get put on a new medication, your doctor will put in their notes that they went over this all with you. They don't. I've been in the doctor's office when my wife has been given prescriptions and stuff, and then we look at the doctor's note and we're like, yeah, they never said anything about this stuff. They're absolutely terrible. Like when this winter, January, end of January, my wife got put on prednisone, not one mention about prednisone raising blood glucose, right? How many people know that if you're a diabetic and you take prednisone, it's going to jack your blood sugars? The doctors don't tell you. Aaron said, I start seeing results in your sardine fast going into the 3rd day, but you gain a few pounds back. So normally during the fast, 1 or 2 net pounds lost. When it's all said and done, and refeeding happens. Yep. And that's what's different on that from my water fast. when I do the water fast, I can lose a lot more weight, but I gain more of it back. Um, I don't remember what my starting weight was on this one here, as I didn't weigh myself. I just know I weighed myself yesterday, and I was down to 205. But I probably lose on a 5-day water fast 10 pounds, and then I'll gain back 5 or 6 of that. So I expect to go back up to 210, 212, and then I'll go back down to whatever. But I'm only eating for the next 2 days, so I don't know how much I'm going to gain. I know a lot of it's going to be water because that's just what happens when you do it. You love how my hair shines? Well, thank you. I polish this most days just for people like you. You should have 100%. Doctors are supposed to go over the side effects of meds with you. Absolutely. They've always had to. That's part of their medical training. It's called implied consent, and they're supposed to do it. If you go on the app for wherever your doctor is and look at your medical notes, they're going to have it on there that they went over this with you. I know when we go into the walk-in clinic here, if you go into the walk-in clinic, when they discharge you or you leave, they give you papers to show what was going on in there, and the implied consent information is on that, saying that the doctor went over that with you, but they don't have time to because they're limited to how much time they have to spend with you. Yeah, and it doesn't happen. The doctors don't go over that information, and they're required to. Yeah, well, Uncle Willie says you've never had informed consent from any medical or procedure. Now, procedures, I do have to say I have had them go over the stuff with my procedures. Even my dentist, when he went through and did all the stuff here, he was really good about what was going to happen and what was going on. And yeah, they did a good job. My dentist did. Brian says he's going to take the week off from fasting and do a 7-day sardine fast with Anita Breeze. Your numbers were better on a sardine fast than a water fast. Really? See, and I've had the opposite experience with my sardine fast, where a lot of people like you get really good numbers from the sardine fast. I go off my ketones and my blood sugars. Are you referencing the weight loss and keeping the weight off on that, Brian? Because then I agree with you 100%. Sardine fast, you have better weight loss retention than you do on a water fast. But for my ketones and my blood glucose, the water fast does a much better job, and I believe that helps to reset the body better doing it that way too. The one thing that they really should have gone over was when you had the ECTs. My husband is a POA, and they knew that and never consulted him before the ECTs. Yeah. Then they should. The doctors really, our medical staff, I don't know why they don't go over the information that they're supposed to be sharing with patients. And it's something that's supposed to be what they do, and they don't. I don't know why. Also, you have better ketones on a sardine than on a water fast. Wow. I don't, Brian. My ketones when I do the sardine fast don't go. Mine are just backwards of yours. On my water fast, my highest one has been 5.7, but like this picture here, where my ketones are at 4.8 and my glucose is at 55, that's on a water fast. When I do sardine fast, it's not like that. My ketones haven't been above a 3 on a sardine fast. But 2.8, 2.5, they do get up to there. And my glucose stays in the 90s or the 80s on a sardine fast. And it doesn't matter if I eat the mustard sardines or if I eat the 100% uh, olive oil sardines or water pack sardines. It doesn't matter. I haven't had any difference in that. And Aisha says it's interesting that you have a better results with the sardines and water fast. I agree. He lost 6 pounds on sardines and 3 pounds on the water fast. Wow. In that, how long do you do the sardine fast for? Are you doing them the same amount of time? Just curious. Bryce says reading Dr. Berry's Common Sense Labs, and your primary has done most of the tests that are recommended there. All levels are high to normal, indicated healing, but work to be done. None are considered to be high. Yep. And that's Dr. Berry's Common Sense Lab. It is a great book. There's some great information in there. Yeah, I keep it right here on my printer, sitting right there in the back. Aaron says sardines, you get in the 50s on your CGM, 2.1 to 2.8 for 3 days. And see, and I don't go above that either, but my blood glucose doesn't go down that far. Now, this got me thinking maybe it's when I was doing those sardine fasts, maybe I was having infection issues in my mouth with those teeth. And that might have had something to do with it. Maybe I'm due for a sardine fast here. You got me thinking now, Aaron. You have to do those comparison videos and let me know which sardines are the best so that I can pick up some good sardines. Let's see. Brian says blood sugar was 76 on sardines and 89 on water for 5 days. Really? That's amazing. Aaron says when I keep cream in my coffee, it doesn't go as low with a sardine fast. The cream does add some calories and it does have some milk sugars in it that do raise your glucose a little bit. But it's not bad. It's a good thing. Well, heck, I've been on here for just over an hour now. So I think I'm going to head out. I'll see you guys back tomorrow. Bryce said, actually like sardines. None are best or worse for you, which helps you save money. Yeah, so you do good on the cheap ones or the expensive ones. I just know like the Wild Planet ones are easier for me to eat than the Beach Cliff. Brian says, have a great day. He says, take care. Bye, y'all. You all have a great day. We'll see you back. Do this again tomorrow morning at the same time. It's 10 a.m. Central, which is 11 Eastern. I'll be here doing the same thing. We'll talk to you all tomorrow.